we have two categories of spending, discretionary and mandatory. So I'm using the words that we already have in terms of describing what we do with spending that is all on budget. And my main point when I made that comment, turning discretionary isn't to make Social Security discretionary. It's to have everything on budget, so we're looking at total spending. I mean, the point I was making to reporters during the omnibus, nobody even knew how much we were spending. Nobody knew. They knew, well, it's over $1 trillion. Well, no, that's just a discretionary part of our budget. Okay, so my point, and again, it was completely taken out of context. I understand it, but my point was we need to understand the total amount of government spending every year. And if you want to save, and I do, I want to save, all I've ever said about Social Security is I want to save it. The greatest threat to Social Security is the massive debt and deficit spending. When this trust fund runs out, we've already crossed the Rubicon of benefits are exceeding revenue. And so the trust fund, and that's just an accounting gimmick, by the way. It's all that is. There's no real assets behind that. It's just treasury bonds that have no value to the federal government. It is a legal Ponzi scheme. I'm happy to defend that comment all day long. I mean, again, that's what a Ponzi scheme is. You get in early investors. You don't invest the money for them. You spend it, but you bring in the current investors. And you pay off the former investors, right? That's what. But this is a legal Ponzi scheme. Okay, so the greatest threat to that Social Security is when the trust fund runs out, and you have nothing now to redeem to plus up the benefits. Will we have the financial wherewithal out of the general fund to honor those promises? That's why we need to be concerned about the debt and deficit. When that happens, we'll be about $50 trillion in debt according to Biden's budget. And by the way, the greatest threat we have in terms of a debt crisis is it's happening right now under our nose. Saudi Arabia does a deal with China. They'll be selling oil to China, not using US dollars, not petrodollars. They're going to be using China's currency. Brazil's entering those types of agreements. When the US dollar ceases to become the world's reserve currency, we are in deep, deep trouble because we won't be able to print these dollars. We won't be able to keep our interest rates artificially low. And for every 1% increase in interest rates, our cost of borrowing, our interest goes up $320 billion. That's a $32 trillion worth of debt. That'll just keep increasing. If we were just to return to the average interest rate we paid on U.S. government debt in the last 3 decades of the last century, 5.3%. That added about $1.2 trillion just to interest expense, which is about what we spend on Social Security a year. We're spending more now because we had, a 5.7% inflationary increase.
Good afternoon, friends. So time is running out. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is now being faced with a big decision. He must either change his proposed debt ceiling plan to meet Democrats' demands or continue to push forward with his plan and risk a U.S. debt default. This event could affect millions of Americans' finances, and some lawmakers want Congress to pass a bill that would block any harmful changes to be made to programs like Social Security and Medicare. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will put his control of the thin Republican majority on the line this week with a bid to pass a slashing spending bill that is designed to jam President Biden over the looming government debt crisis. The standoff is deepening between Republican Speaker and the Democratic President, which could be faithful for the country and both their political careers. And the ability of each side to unify their parties and shape public opinion to avoid or dispense blame will be crucial. The clash is over the need to raise the government's borrowing authority within months, without which the United States will default on its debts in a way that could send the domestic and global economies spiraling and could inflict deep pain and job losses on Americans. So Republicans are seeking to use this situation as leverage to stop Biden's domestic program. The U.S. president, as he moves towards making his re-election campaign official as early as this week, says the GOP must not hold the nation hostage to what he says is an extreme agenda. The debt ceiling showdown is important to Biden as he seeks to protect the legislative achievements of his term so far and to portray an image of strength and purpose. Speaker McCarthy is seeking to unite his party around him to pass a bill that would raise a debt ceiling for 1 year in exchange for deep spending cuts. The measure would limit growth in government spending to 1% a year, block student loan forgiveness, rescind new funding for the Internal Revenue Service, introduce tougher work requirements for Medicaid, and repeal green energy tax credits in an effort to halt Biden's attempts to create a low-carbon economy to fight climate change. But even if it makes it out of the House, the measure has no chance of diffusing the situation or of winning the battle for the GOP, since it won't pass in the Democratic-led Senate. The White House has said it will not negotiate over a debt ceiling increase, which is Congress's responsibility, and will only accept a clean proposal to raise the nation's borrowing limit. However, the Speaker on Sunday was adamant that Biden would have to climb down from that position as a country races closer to a crisis that may peak sometime this summer. So, dear friends, what do you think that Congress should do? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Recently, Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri introduced the Keep Our Promises Act to exempt Social Security and Medicare from the debt ceiling. Medicare and Social Security beneficiaries must be confident that their benefits will be paid in full and on time. Senator Hawley's legislation will ensure these programs are never used as leverage in negotiations over the debt limit. Senator Hawley has said in an official statement, Social Security and Medicare are not bargaining chips. These are promises we've made to the American people, and we must not break them. The Keep Our Promises Act would provide exempt Social Security and Medicare from the statutory debt limit. Then it would authorize the U.S. Treasury Department, when the statutory debt limit is reached, to issue as much additional debt as necessary to fully fund Social Security and Medicare and disperse on-time benefits to millions of America's seniors. It would also permit the U.S. Treasury Department to use this authority in all future debt limit episodes, thereby permanently insulating Social Security and Medicare from any impact of a debt ceiling standoff. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Tuesday afternoon. Thank you, dear friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every single day. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Friends, please make sure you enter the giveaway by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.